came out a few weeks ago that said Caitlyn Clark received 17% of the WNBA's flagrant fouls this season, and 80% of those flagrant fouls were committed by the Chicago Sky against Caitlyn Clark League. And that's what a lot of players and coaches said about Caitlyn Clark and about the rookie class coming into the league, is that that was going to be something that they would need to adjust to. They would need to adjust to the physicality of this league. So there have been cheap shots, there have been hard fouls, there have been other plays that haven't even been called flagrant fouls, but when you have the face of your league getting nearly 20% of all flagrant fouls called against her, that is an issue.
Remember when the WNBA was all about fair play and growing the game? Yeah, those days are long gone. Now we've got refs playing favorites, stars getting beat up, and fans losing faith. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you so much. Now, back to the video. But don't worry, it's not all doom and gloom. We're about to show you how the league can turn this ship around and give us the WNBA we all want to see. Trust me, you don't want to miss this. You won't believe what's going down with the refs in the WNBA. This isn't just about a few bad calls anymore. We're talking full-blown chaos. Let's dive into that wild game against Chicago. Picture this. Clark's on fire, driving to the basket like a woman possessed. She's got that look in her eye, you know the one. Then bam! Out of nowhere, she gets clobbered. We're talking knocked down hard, the kind of hit that makes you wince just watching it. You'd think that's a clear foul, right? I mean, come on! But nope, the refs, they're acting like they didn't see a thing. It's like they're living in some parallel universe where Clark's invisible or something.
She has lived up to expectations, right? I'm looking at her the way I look at LeBron James, right? For us, just in the women's side of things, and the height that she had, the expectations she had.
Let's start with the rookie, Caitlyn Clark Kent. Superwoman, you see what I did there? She was on a tear, and last night was no different. Wings, fever. Caitlyn Clark set to go as she broke the single-season assist record.
She's been playing like a top-5 player in the league. She's been regularly dishing out double-digit assists in that time frame. Teams can no longer blitz her and trap her.
And here's the kicker. This isn't just a one-time thing. It's happening over and over, game after game, play after play. It's like Clark's got a "please foul me" sign taped to her back that only the other players can see. But wait, it gets even crazier. You know how many flagrant fouls Clark's getting this season? Brace yourself. 157% of the league's total. That's not a typo. One player, almost double the flagrants of the entire league. That's beyond insane. It's like we're in basketball bizarro world. But hold on to your seats, because I'm about to blow your mind. Guess where 80% of those flagrant fouls are coming from? One team, the Chicago Sky. It's like they've got a personal vendetta against Clark or something. What's their deal? You know what's even wilder? This ref drama isn't just messing with Clark. It's shaking up the whole league. Imagine being a rookie stepping onto the court for the first time. You're nervous, excited, ready to prove yourself. Then you see Clark getting hammered with no whistle. Suddenly it's like you've got a target on your back too. It's turning the WNBA upside down. Players are looking over their shoulders, fans are scratching their heads, and everyone's wondering what's going to happen next. Is this the new normal? Are we just supposed to accept that star players are going to get beat up while the refs look the other way? This isn't the WNBA we know and love. It's like we've stepped into some twisted alternate reality.
WNBA Player of the Week. There have only been 40 triple-doubles in the history of the WNBA. Cheryl Swoops recorded the first WNBA triple-double during the 1999 season, while Caitlyn Clark logged the most recent triple-double earlier this week. She now has 102 on the season and is 19 away from Diana Taurasi in second place and 26 away from UNESCO of the New York Liberty. She ain't beating Asia Wilson for the MVP, but she's beating Angel Reese for the Rookie of the Year. That's a wrap. That's over. And props to Angel Reese, who's had a good year, by the way.
Where the rules don't matter and the refs are making it up as they go along. How long before something really serious happens? How many more hits does Clark have to take before someone steps in and says, enough is enough? You know what's scarier than bad calls? The long-term damage they're causing. Picture this: a little girl watching her first WNBA game, seeing Clark get knocked down again and again. What message are we sending to the next generation of ballers? This isn't just about today's games. We're talking about the future of women's basketball here. Let's break it down. These missed calls aren't just messing with Clark, they're turning the whole WNBA upside down. It's like a domino effect, you know? One bad call leads to another, and suddenly we're in chaos city. Player safety? Out the window. Game outcomes? Who knows anymore? It's like the refs are playing their own game and the players are just along for the ride. And the fans? Oh man, they're losing it. We're talking full-on meltdown mode. They're not just yelling at their TVs anymore, they're turning them off. Can you blame them? Who wants to watch their favorite players get beat up with no consequences? It's like watching a boxing match where only one fighter gets penalized. Not cool, right? But here's where it gets real. The players are speaking up. When the stars of the game start calling out the refs, you know things have gone too far. They're not asking for much. Just a fair game. Is that too much to ask? Apparently, in this version of the WNBA, it is. Every time Clark hits the floor without a whistle, it's like dropping a stone in a pond. Those ripples, they're reaching every corner of the league. Other players are watching, thinking, am I next? Coaches are losing their minds, trying to figure out how to protect their players. And the fans? They're wondering if this is even basketball anymore. But let's zoom out for a second. This isn't just about today or tomorrow. We're talking long-term damage here. What happens when young girls see their idols getting knocked around with no protection? Are they going to dream about playing in a league where skill gets you targeted? That's not the WNBA we want to build, is it? The league's reputation is on the line here. Every missed call, every no-whistle takedown, it's all adding up. And if something doesn't change soon, we might be looking at a very different WNBA in the future. One where star power is a liability, not an asset, where players are afraid to show off their skills. Is that really the league we want to see? This ref drama isn't just a footnote in the season, it's becoming the whole story. And unless something changes fast, it might be the story that defines the WNBA for years to come. Are we really gonna let that happen? Alright, so here's the deal. The WNBA's in the hot seat now. They've got a mess on their hands, and everyone's waiting to see what they'll do. Will they step up and fix this referee drama? Or will they keep pretending everything's fine while the league goes up in flames? Imagine this: stricter rules for the refs, better training, maybe even some NBA-style explanations after controversial calls. That's what the experts are saying might help. But will the WNBA listen? Or will they just keep their heads in the sand? You know what's crazy? The whole world's watching. Fans, players, even other leagues are keeping an eye on how this plays out. The WNBA's got a chance to turn things around, to make things right. But they've gotta act fast. 'Cause if they don't, well, let's just say the future of women's basketball might look a whole lot different than we hope.